guys, it's your girl Nick, and welcome to another edition of Bo Knows Business. I am delighted once again. First of all, I'm delighted that the Lord has shined its natural little light around me. I got perfect lighting on, so we're gonna rock this out today. You guys can't see me. You can't see me. Some of you can, but I got great lighting. So tune in online on my YouTube page so you can see this perfect lighting today. First thing. Second thing, listen, I may be funny, but I do not play when it comes to my Bo sisters and how amazing they are. I get the amazing opportunity to interview a new Bo sister every week and hear about her beginnings, about her middles, and how she truly scaled her business to over $1 million. Listen, as any entrepreneur, it is only a small percentage that do that are able to accomplish that. And when you layer on top that it's a Black woman, it's even more spectacular. So today I'm going to introduce you to an amazing sister. She's right here in the DMV area. I'm going to let her tell you about her business. My sister, the Bo, Miss Christi Venable.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I am great, girl. Listen, what people don't know about Christi is Christi was a Bo before she was a Bo. Like, we have been rolling. We met at a business conference, and I literally just, I'm like, yes, this is yes on the spot. Yes. You are phenomenal. How you doing today, girl?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I just say thank God for putting us in a place where we actually just met at the Enterprising Women Conference, and then literally just kept meeting, right?
We just kept meeting. So it was Enterprising Women. I can't even remember what time of year. And then we went to the NMSDC conference.
Right.
And I was like, girl, come on up. And we have just been rolling. And it's because you're such a warm, genuine, just positive person. And I feel like I get credit because light attracts light. So I'm so grateful that I've been good. So I'm blessed to have a Christi sister in my life.
No, we are blessed. I'm thankful for you, for everything that you are doing, for your vision, for carrying it out, your vision, right? Because people get visions and sometimes they do not act on it. But what you are doing, it's a movement. And I am just grateful to be a part and just can't wait to see what we will look like in the next 6 months, in the next year,
It's so incredible. And I say it like it's not me because it's
mind-blowing.
I'm like observing, in real time, just how people are connecting. Like today, I showed you, we got a WhatsApp chat, y'all, and we got several sisters in Dubai, and they're already traveling together. And it's just it is my biggest dream ever is. And look, I'm gonna let people know she's a counselor. I'm gonna tell you all about her practice in a minute. I promise not to turn this into a therapy session, but I have always loved. I don't have a sister, but I love girlfriends. I love, it's something unique when women come together and good spirited, good hearted women. It is just, there's nothing like it, right?
You're right. And, honestly, I actually have a lot of sisters. Okay.
Okay.
However, I don't have any older sisters because I am the oldest. And so for me, this group is so special because I always wanted an older sister, right? That I can look up to, that I can talk to, that I can go to for some recommendations, you know, if I have an issue, some guidance.
Yeah.
And so it has definitely been just super special for me, just to get to know them, to know all of their successes. I am in
Yes.
awe.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I just had an interview where someone said something similar, that in her family, she was the youngest child, but she kind of assumed the role of the oldest. You
Yeah.
know, she was the top of her class. She got a lot of affirmation for being, you know, the star, so to speak. And that was a lot of responsibility. She was always making decisions for the family. She was the counselor, you know,
All of the
informally.
above. Yeah.
So who does the counselor go to? So look, oh, we're out of order. We're out of order.
Right.
I'm
We
supposed
got
to
it. Okay.
find you when you were a baby, but I'm just so excited to talk to you. I'm like, oh gosh. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So now we know what you do, and you have branded yourself so nicely here today. Thank you. But let's go back to little Christi, and let's figure out, like, what was that first chapter of your life? What were you like as a kid? You told us a little bit that you're the oldest. Where were you raised? What was your family dynamics like?
Well, I am a born and bred DC girl, through and through. So I am from DC all day, Southeast, you know, east of the river. I'm actually on my mother's side, I'm the oldest of 5 girls.
Okay.
But then on my father's side, I am the second oldest of 5 girls and 4 boys.
Oh, wow.
So needless to say, I have a large family. And technically I'm the oldest because my brother just like doesn't count, right? Because
he's a boy.
I assumed the position. And so, you know, for me growing up, I did grow up in a single parent household. My father actually was in jail for, you know, not most of my childhood, but in the beginning of my childhood. And so he got out of jail when I was about 8 or 9. You know, but he's from the area as well. And so still just close as it relates to his side of the family and my mother's side. You know, but I was your maybe not typical, you know, regular, like I say, hood kid, right? I always was into school, always did well in school. You know, for me, I learned at an early age that education was going to be my way out.
Yes.
And I put all of my energy into school. Whether it was academically achieving, I was a cheerleader when I was younger. I used to be in the band. I was in the choir. I was in everything.
All things positive. All things.
I was in everything.
A lot of responsibilities, right?
Definitely a lot of responsibilities because I was the oldest of 5 girls. However, my mother encouraged us to be in extracurricular activities. So me and all of my sisters cheered. We cheered, we danced. That was kind of like a non-negotiable in our house. We had to be in extracurricular just because there was so many things going on, and she didn't want us involved in any negative things. So for her, it was best for us to be in extracurricular activities. And so I started out in DC public school system. You know, I went to Wilkerson. I don't even know if Wilkerson is still around. But I went to Wilkerson, then I transferred. We switched from one side of Southeast to kind of another side. And I went to Orr. That the school now is called Boone, which is named after our former principal. And then for middle school, I went to a private school. And so that was actually interesting.
What was the difference? Yeah, I was gonna say,
you know, it was a Seventh-day Adventist school, so it was definitely more religion and spiritual. So we had like a Bible class. We had to actually go to like church school. We had to memorize Bible. Got it back.
Sorry, we had a little technical.
Yeah, so you know, Seventh-day Adventist school. It was actually great. I feel like it was really what I needed to catapult me to the next level. You know, and then it also just deposited things spiritually, you know, into me at a young age. And so After I left there, I went to a charter school.
Okay.
WMST for short, Washington Math Science Technology Public Charter High
Mm-hmm.
School. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, I feel like throughout my school career, in a sense, I had really good teachers. I was really blessed and fortunate to have good teachers, even though we didn't live in the best part of DC,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we were the area that received the least amount of resources.
Mm-hmm.
We still had really good teachers who cared about us.
Yes.
When I was in elementary school, most of my teachers were older, and so they were old school as
Yeah.
well.
Yes. I got it.
And so I feel like that is what really helped just to mold me into knowing what is important.
Yes.
And
Yes.
for me, it was like school is important. So make
Yes.
sure you get these grades. I
Yeah.
always wanted to go to college. That was super embedded. Didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but I knew I was going to get a scholarship, right? Because that was my
Okay. Yeah.
goal.
Yep.
And that's what I did. I just, I've always been kind of a on straight and narrow, whatever kind of is in my mind, I'm going for it. And that's really how I've been my whole life. And so it definitely was struggles, in our life growing up. My mom was a single parent, of 5 girls. Just imagine that life.
Yes.
I
Girl.
don't know if you can, but
I can't even conceptualize. Well, I guess now, look, with the bow, now I can kind of surmise what that was like.
mean, all different types of attitudes,
Yeah,
all
attitudes
different types
all
of
day
personalities.
long.
We have, we are literally my sisters and I are alike, but we're so different.
So different.
So different. So imagine all those different personalities. But we struggled, right? We didn't really have a lot of money. My mother, most of the time, had to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs.
Yeah.
There were times where we were down to our last bit of food in the house, when we didn't have hot water. I mean, it was electricity cut off until a few weeks. Had to go to friends' houses. And so all of those things for me really made me even work harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, for me, it was, I don't want to be in this position.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to make sure that I put myself and my family, right? Because I always thought about, I have to make sure that I am successful so that I can take care of my mom, right? She did the best that she could for us, working all these different jobs. Most of the time I was in charge, of course. But she did the best that she could, with what she had.
Yes.
And so for me, I didn't take that lightly. I received my work ethic from my mother. She works super hard. To this day, she's still working hard. And my father works really hard. But what I wanted to do was not just work hard, but work smarter. Because they work harder than most people, but they still are don't have any money.
Yes. Right. So you're like, if you go work, you want to be intentional.
No, I want to be intentional about my, all of the, what I'm putting into the work. I want to be intentional about that. I just don't want to work so hard and I'm just making minimum wage.
Yeah. Yes. Because the output is the same. Look, I wish I could. Look, I'm gonna get a session in with my teenager, which I'd be like, if you go do, I always tell them, I'm like, if you're going to do something, I'm going to make you do it right. So if you're going to do something, you're wasting your time that I have to get you to do it 3 times. Do it right. Do it hard. Quantify, understand the value of your time. And I think that is exactly, that's a kind of a off analogy, but I really feel what you're saying. Not only do I feel that, I was so humbled to be able to go to the Christmas party that you had, and hearing you talk now. You were so I was moved, but you were so moved. It was not for those listening, it was not your average holiday party. It really was a celebration of all the people that you loved, and you really you could just see and feel it so clearly. So I'm so
Yeah.
grateful for you sharing that, that I was able to just get a glimmer of how much you care.
Yeah, and for me, community is everything. I've always been about community. My community helped raise me, and
Hmm.
I didn't let it help raise me in a way that turned me negative. I just
Yes,
used it to fuel me to be
yes,
positive, but
yes,
knowing that, I have to make sure that I come back and make an impact on my community.
yes,
Because, I know the people that have helped me. I had a lot of people who've helped me along the way, and that's not the only reason I'm here.
yeah,
And so I always want to make sure that I am also giving back, just as those who have given to me to help me to become successful. Because where I come from, like I said, resources are slim, right?
personally,
You
yeah,
don't know different things. Just because you just don't know, you're ignorant to
yes,
it. You're not
yes,
taught it. They don't teach
yes.
us
You're
different
not
things in our
exposed.
schools. You're
Because
not
everybody's got
exposed.
exposure.
You're not
Yeah.
exposed. And I was blessed. I actually was in a program when I was younger called the I Have a Dream Foundation.
Okay.
And they adopted us in elementary school. And
Hmm.
honestly, if I was not in that program, I really don't know how my trajectory would
Yeah.
have looked.
Yes.
Because they adopted us in elementary school. I actually
Yes.
got adopted in the fourth grade because that's when I went to OR, but they
Yeah.
adopted the regular class in third grade. And they
Yeah.
actually put me in there because they loved me so much when they
I
met me.
love it. No.
And they put me in the group, and for me, I thank God all the time that I was able
Yeah.
to one, even move to that area to be in that,
Yeah.
to
Yes.
get into this group. They followed us from elementary school all the way to college.
Wow.
And they gave us the best people for tutors. We had
Yeah.
tutoring after school. That's also another reason why I went to that private school. They
Yeah.
paid for that private school.
Yes.
Every
Yeah.
summer, we was at a
Yeah.
college doing summer camp. They put on a summer
Yeah.
camp for us every summer at a college where we were getting taught by professors. And so they instilled in us early on that you are not going to be your surroundings, right? You are not going to be your
Yeah.
community. They will come get us,
Yes.
bus us up out of there, go take us,
Yes.
to the different
To
places,
do
and
what you're
then
supposed to.
we'll have
Yeah.
to come back.
Yeah.
But we learned that it's a different, it's something more, right?
Yeah.
To just
Exposure.
this.
It
And
really is. It really
exposure
is.
is everything. And so if they would not have, just exposed us to different things, we were on yachts
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
middle school.
Yes. Yes.
Because our sponsor, him and his wife, like they own boats and
Yeah.
yachts and all type of things. So he would take us out on the boat as long as we got out, work done and we got good grades. We were golfing. They had fundraising golfing events for us every year.
Yes.
And so we were exposed to different things. And, that is really why, my eyes were wide open, like, oh, there's more out there. I'm going to make sure, I do
Yes.
this, I do that. So I was always focused to just be successful,
Yes.
really at an early age. And so I'm thankful for them. Their name is actually Miss or Mrs. White. Thankful for them. I still am very close to them.
That's wonderful.
They help me out with whatever I need. And so, and you need people like that in your life that actually care about you. And
Yes.
that's why I make it my business to be that type of person for someone else.
Well, yeah, I mean, to have the career that you have where you are counseling, coaching, educating, and then outside of your business, the philanthropy, the give back, it's the DNA of who you are. It's the very fiber. You couldn't do anything other than this if you tried.
Even if I tried.
Even if you tried, girl. So with that, I thank you for sharing all of those nuggets. I want to pivot a little toward the mechanics of your business, right? So I give us about 30 seconds on your transition from, if you worked 9 to 5 and then you transitioned to an entrepreneur? How did that happen?
So, crazy enough, I went to the Pennsylvania State University, Penn State, and I actually majored in business. So when I first got into college, I've always been into psychology. And even though I did get accepted into psychology as my major, I realized that I'm not gonna be able to have a job after school. I'm gonna have to go straight to grad school, right? And for me, I knew that when I get out of college, I have to help my mom. So I have to be able to have a job. I majored in business management, but I minored in psychology and international business. And so if you would believe it, when I got out of college, it was crazy. I ended up working for Sherwin-Williams.
Really? I love that store.
I was a manager.
You were a manager?
I was a manager at Sherwin-Williams at the Silver Spring store, okay, for like 2 years. And I was just like, this can't be my life. Like, now,
you learn a lot of stuff. I'm just saying, with those large companies, you learn a lot of stuff, girl.
Do. And as a manager or assistant manager, I was responsible for the P&L. I was responsible for ordering inventory. I was responsible for, kind of the front house and our employees and making sure like customers' complaints or anything that arose with customers were handled. So honestly, even though I was like, this can't be the life, it really taught me a lot about business.
Yes.
It taught me a lot about business. It taught me a lot about running a business because our store was literally our business.
Exactly. Was it a franchise model?
It's not a franchise, but the managers run that store.
Okay.
So we had, at that point, I think our revenues were about $1 million or so for that store.
For that store,
wow. For that store, and it was like you got to run your store, and you need to keep your P&L in check. You need to be making money. You need to be ordering, making sure you. So we had the responsibility of doing all of that. So in actuality, it really set me up for success because the business piece was there. The business piece definitely was there. However, I knew that I wanted to still get into the helping field. So I ended up quitting Sherwin-Williams because they was driving me crazy. And I ended up quitting Sherwin-Williams, applying for grad school. And it literally happened within months, which was crazy. But applying for grad school and getting a job at Friendship Public Charter School at the same time. So the day that I started Friendship at the district office, I got my emails and I was accepted to grad school. And on top of that, Mr. White, who I was just speaking about, actually ended up getting me a full ride to grad school.
Wow.
Because he ended up knowing the former president who gave the Dreamers, that's what we were called, Dreamers, a scholarship when we graduated from high school. But no Dreamer went to George Washington. That's where I went, GW, George Washington University. So he reminded him that he gave him that scholarship over 6 years ago, and they honored it.
Amazing.
So needless to say, all I had to do was write an essay.
Write an essay, girl.
And I had to keep my grades up, which I got all A's anyway. But I couldn't get anything lower than a B or something like that. And so I went to grad school for school counseling. And I was a school counselor at Friendship Chamberlain for a few years before I felt like I needed to do more.
Yeah. Yes.
There was so much to be done in the school system. I said I needed to do more. And then I needed to learn a community. So I left Friendship, even though I loved it. I left and then I went to do community. I was a supervisor at a community mental health agency. And then after that, after I already learned that system, I said, it's time.
I can do this. I can do this.
And
I will tell you that you didn't say it, but those 3 words, I can do it. Those 4 words, I can do this. That has been the leap. Those are the entrepreneurial magic words. After you learn it, you be like,
I can do this. Right? And I can do it better.
And I can do it better. I can get some clients. So no, so that's fantastic. Now, what about because what makes Bow members special is that scaling to that magic number. Tell me one tip, one strategy that took you over the top.
Honestly, for me, I think the piece or what helped me to really scale and just grow so fast,
Mm-hmm.
because we actually were in six figures by the first year.
Okay.
And
Who were your clients? Were you
so
this
I
was
went,
the school system?
school system. I
Yep.
went back to
Yep.
to friendship.
Yep. You'd be like, hey boo, hey.
So I would say number one thing, network.
Yeah.
Utilize your network. I went back to my network. I went back to the schools. I went back to the parents. I let them know before I even got started, this is what I'm about to do. Stay on the lookout. I'll let you know when I start. I'm gonna come back and get all my old kids.
But
And
let me can I pause you right there?
yeah.
Again, these podcasts, if anybody is really smart, if they care at all about growing their business, they will listen to these things back to back. This is a pearl necklace of knowledge because there are certain key things I keep hearing over and over again. Scaling businesses, usually you're having very brilliant people in large infrastructures, government, school system, corporation. They get the epiphany, I could do this. They then open their thing and go back into
Why not?
the business and be like, you gonna be my client.
Period. And that's what I did. And what you also have to do and make sure you are remembering is have good relationships and have good work ethic. Because if I did not have good work ethic and
Yes.
people didn't know really how I was and how I operate, they know I love my kids. I worked,
Yes.
I did
Yes.
so much stuff that was
Right.
outside of my scope of
Yeah.
work. And so for them, it was a no-brainer. What? Yes, please come back. We need you.
Yes.
Do this, do that. And this is no lie. I have not had to market.
Yeah. That's girl. And
My
Christi,
entire time. I just started
when
marketing last year.
Yeah. Wow. I will tell you, I mean, the scalability, you are when people talk about networking, right? So it's usually a pejorative, right? People are like, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable networking." Some people, I would say, we're in DC. Everybody loves it. But I think if we found another word that says, really having authentic connections with people, telling their stories, it is not a superficial thing to bring people together. It's not a superficial thing to meet people, and you do it very authentically. We of course again are over time. That's okay. This is my show. I am taking personal liberties as the founder of the collective. We keep going. I think I would be like, oh my God. But tell me because and I do not tell everybody this, you are gifted at it. There are a lot of people that don't feel comfortable going to these large conferences, and they're just so overwhelmed. And I would consider myself one of those people. I'm good in small, intimate settings. But give us some strategies on how you have been able to make authentic connections in your professional environment.
Yeah, I'm not one of those. I go to conferences by myself all the time. Like I saw you guys at the NMSCC, and they like, who you here with? Girl, nobody, me.
I love it.
So I think really the strategy is just to know what your end goal is for whatever that conference or whatever that thing is that you're going to. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I want to, of course, meet other business people, but I also am here to find these big companies to get these contracts.
Yeah.
And so, I'm also I can talk to anyone type of person too.
Yeah.
And so make small conversation and go to people and just introduce yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a business
What?
conference.
Okay, you're a therapist. What are we afraid of?
Well, it's the
Can't we just
anxiety.
walk up to strangers? What is
A lot of people have social anxiety. And so when you're in these big spaces, you feel like, well, do I just go talk to them? Are they going to be okay with me doing that? Are they going to be off put by me just coming out and saying who I am?
But that's what they're there for, right?
But this is what people think. How are they going to respond to me? Are they going to look at me like I'm crazy? Yeah. And so we're literally thinking, well, not me, because that's you guys, thinking about all of this in your brain, and it gives you anxiety. Yeah. So then you don't want to reach out. You don't want to talk. You
created the theater. I say this, they say that. You've created a situation that never even happened.
And so we just have to be okay with literally meeting new people. Some people it's very uncomfortable for them to meet new people. But for me,
on the membership committee, girl, you're gonna be on the membership committee.
I mean, for me, it's just like, just go say hi.
Yeah,
hey, what do you
why is that right?
What do you do?
Yeah, I think people have been like you said, they get in their feelings. They don't want to be rejected. They put all, like you said, it's a whole mental theater that's never happened. And I will tie this back. You cannot be an entrepreneur if you do not have the ability to communicate.
You're not going to grow.
You're not. Well, so I'm a coach, a business coach. And when I hear people that are like, I'm thinking about leaving my job and I want to, I want to open my business. Okay, well, why are you doing that? Well, because I don't want to work for anybody. I don't, I'm like,
that's not a good
boy, you are in the wrong thing. I said, because when you have a business, you work for everybody. Yes. You work for your clients, you work for your employees, you work for that mayor that needs you to show up and give some money to you are,
and you have to put yourself out there.
Yes.
You have to put yourself out there. So people know about you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that they know who you are, what you do. Your voice have to be heard. Literally, when I started my company, I went door to door to businesses.
Yes. Oh,
the businesses that I wanted to work with, different group, like the YMCAs and the Boys and Girls Clubs and schools and all the types of businesses that had basically the families who I wanted to work. I went door to door.
Yes.
Giving them my, my little flyer, telling them who I was, what services I had, all of that. Literally.
I love it. I love it so much because first of all, you presumed that someone first of all, you had your own competency, what you know. Second of all, you were not deterred or had any issues about people. You like people, you counsel people, of course you do. And number three, what I have heard your whole conversation is you are deeply passionate about the kids.
Yeah.
You're deeply passionate about your community. And so I can literally envision you walking, from door to door, because you're like, and you guess what? You didn't really lead with yourself. You didn't say, hey, I got to make this business work, which I'm sure that was a part of it. But I leapfrogged over that. I leapfrogged over because I'm like, she wants to do, she got to get to them kids.
I said, where are the people who need my services?
Yes, yes, yes.
Let me go there and let them know that I exist.
Yes.
Because you have to think about it. Yes, in schools, you may be privy to therapy, whatever, but you have the same kids that have the same struggles that go to aftercare and they don't get any services, or go to the camps and they don't get any services. Yeah. So, and I've always, really thought like that. Where are the people who need us? Yes. And that's how our business have evolved, right? That's so now we're not just doing individual services. We are working with corporations.
Yes. You better tell it, girl. And I mean, you're just so special. And I love your story. I love how you have taken who you have been since God made you, and you navigated through, you maintain who you are, and you've blossomed.
Yeah.
I want to end with this because of course now I'm running into my other Bo sister. So I'm like, oh my gracious, I literally have to go.
Yeah.
But two things, and it's a silly little thing, but we're scrolling on social media and I saw I'm always looking for little motivational speeches and stuff. And I just saw something with Jay-Z, and he said, there are no chosen people. God gives each one of us
I believe that.
something in us that if we pay attention to it and nurture it, we could all, he didn't say it, but we could all be Beyonce's and we all could be Jay-Z's. We just choose not to activate it, or we choose to act on it. And what I deeply feel with you is that you have always been this light. You have always had this sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And so your success is expected
Yeah.
because you were always so intentional about service and
Yeah.
about your commitment to your family and to your community. So I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. And I concur with him. I totally
Yes.
concur. I feel like
Yes.
God gives everyone what they're
Yes.
supposed to have, who they're supposed to be. We just have to tap into that.
It's so true.
And we have to act on it. We can't be scared. It's
And
the
you have to
fear
take the blinders. People, they live so much in their past
Yep.
hurts that they miss
Yep.
opportunities every day to be fabulous, every day to connect, because they're afraid of that one thing. I do want to ask, they may not play this whole thing, but I don't care. I think this is fabulous. What do you do? I mean, you have to have some tools on how do you get over past pains? Are there any strategies? Because there are people like I lost my first business, but I was so committed to not having that be the period on the end of my sentence. And I loved working with businesses. So I was like, let me just figure this out. So I didn't live in my past pain. What is your tip for moving forward, so they can go get their business or their blessing?
Yeah, honestly, what you have to do is you have to work through it, right?
Mm.
A lot of people process things differently.
Okay.
And you also have to remember that the resiliency piece is different. That level of resiliency is different within different people. So some people are very resilient, but we learned this as a child, right? You learned you didn't get something or you lost something, right? But then you learn to be resilient and you learn to look at the brighter side of things or look at the more positive side. But some people didn't. And so actually we work a lot through that in therapy with people, right? They're really working on the past. What people don't understand is if you don't fully process and work through your past, it will stifle you as an adult. Yes. And that's what we see with a lot of adults. They are literally stuck in their past. And the only way to move past that is to work through it. Work through whatever that trauma is.
Be very intentional instead of being afraid of it. I hear you, because you can't be free. You cannot be free because you're always replaying that. I say replaying that old video like over and over again. Well, listen, we gonna have to have a part 3 and 7, girl. Look, you put my check is in the mail to you, girlfriend. I do want to end with Bo. I do want to, and then, so tell us what Bo means to you. Bo means, and then tell us how we can stay in touch with you.
So honestly, for me, Bo is everything. Plus more.
They're like, what is that green Kool-Aid, Nicole? It's 70s ladies.
Literally, I just met with a Bo sister yesterday. So we were just saying, you know what? We done drunk all the Kool-Aid. We ate the ice cream. We are fully
got the sorbet, girl. You eating the sorbet.
We are fully invested in Bo. And honestly, it's no other, organization like it. Why? One, because we are intentional about Black women, right? So that's the first piece. But then the second piece is not even intentional about Black women, but successful Black women who are the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And then to also have the groups under us who we are going to be intentional about educating and supporting and bringing up to that cream of the crop.
Yes.
It's really like no other, and we were really discussing what it meant to us and the support factor, right? That support piece is everything.
Yes, girl.
Us being able to just share resources and literally trying to see how we can work together without any egos.
Yes.
Like I told someone, look, I got my 8A girl, use it however you want to. I can just be your sub. I can do whatever you want me to do. So it's no egos there. It's just, how can we work together to further each other's business?
Yes.
I literally was just meeting with one of the Bo sisters yesterday so we can learn more about each other to see how we can collaborate.
Yes.
I'm like, well, how can I help you? How could, she was like, well, how can I help you? Let's look into this. So that's everything for you. We're helping each other scale on top of scale and then bringing other people up so they can scale.
Girl, I mean, my face hurts once again. I'm like, and isn't it when people are like, well, what do you need this? Some people say, what do you need this for?
We need this.
I mean, this is not, this doesn't take away from anybody else. But if you ask the question to any group, do you focus on connecting Black women? None of their answers, the answer will be no. You do not focus. That is not the intention.
Right.
That is our intention. And we are going to all of the things together, but the support factor, the intentional fellowship, the intentional support, relationship building, that is what it has always meant to me. And I'm like, if you can do that authentically, you can build anything on that. You can build anything off of a trust-filled foundation, right?
Honestly. And it's like we don't even really, some of us have never even met, but when we start talking and just communing together, it's like we've been friends for a long time.
Well, and I will say, the fact that every Black woman is not in this organization, right? It is either something that you feel or you don't, right? And we want this so much that we are going to make sure that we grow and we stay committed to the support that we give each other. That we were doing something the other day, and I was like, Bo is beyond business. Yes, we want business, but it is beyond that.
Yeah.
The energy that we are feeling for each other, if you don't feel it, you can't replicate that. Nope. Right? So you can't put on a green suit and just be like, hey, it's a feeling, it's an energy, it's that support factor. And that we don't sit around talking about inequities and things, but we all know that when we see another sister who has this, we know what she's been through instinctively. Yeah. Because we are Black women, we instinctively know what it took to get into this room, what it took to get this space. So I'm so grateful that you are pouring into us. You are teaching us. You're inspiring, and you are being poured into. That you are letting us help and nurture you too.
Yes, and I appreciate every bit of it. Every bit. So we're gonna close it out. Smile Therapy Services, because I don't even think I did a true introduction.
Did we even say what you did?
No. Okay. Mental health and wellness agency, and we have twofold on our business. We do direct services, so provide direct therapy services for youth and adults, and with the school system. And then on our other side, we work with corporations and school districts to provide employee wellness, safe space sessions, and then leadership development with the emotional intelligence focus. So we're all about culture building, how to improve the culture of your organization through focusing on mental health and wellness. So that's who we are.
Oh, girl,
Yes,
that
what
was
we
dope.
do.
Woohoo!
Find us, our website, www.smiletherapyservices.com, Instagram, Smile Therapy LLC, and you can find me on LinkedIn or Smile on LinkedIn, Smile Therapy Services.
Thank you, sister. That's all. I am just so excited about this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for these 45 minutes, but thank you for your life. Thank you for being so devoted to our community and helping our children. I love you so much.
Thank you. Love you. See you guys.
Woo! I'm just, again, I'm gonna stop talking because I have clearly talked so much, but that woman was the bomb. Stay connected with her. Stay connected with these sisters. They are superheroes next door, right? So we see, you know, all of the TV shows and what we think celebrities are. These women are my sheroes. They are my sisters. I get to build a great organization with them, but it's so wonderful to have a platform to share their stories and to celebrate them. So thank you all for joining us every week. Please pass the message about the Bow Collective on, visit our website, come to our events, and just commune with us. Thank you so much for joining us again. Have a great day.